Welcome back here at Live Now from Fox. I do actually want to take you to some video from a short time ago. This is inside the White House as we do have President Biden meeting with the Indian Prime Minister. He is visiting Washington, D.C. for talks with Biden. I want to pump up the audio. Again, this is a shot from just moments ago. Not sure exactly what you will be able to hear.
और समय के साथ-साथ वो जो छोटे-छोटे कदम हमने उठाए हैं बहुत बड़ी प्रगति का रूप ले चुके हैं।
And today, the partnership between our countries is stronger than it's ever been.
और आज हम दोनों देशों के बीच में जो सहभागिता है पहले से कहीं अधिक मजबूत है।
We see it in our major defense partnership, now a pillar in the Indo-Pacific peace and security structure.
और हम देख रहे हैं अपने इस पीस में शांति के रूप में भी और अपने डिफेंस के रूप में भी।
We see it in our economic ties and efforts to promote inclusive economic growth for our people and, quite frankly, people all around the world.
और इसे हम अपने लोगों और समस्त विश्व के लोगों के बीच में भी देख रहे हैं जो कि एक समावेशी और आर्थिक विकास के प्रति हमारे आर्थिक संबंधों में आती हुई गहराई और प्रगाढ़ता को आगे बढ़ाकर दिखाते हैं।
And we see in our growing cooperation on a whole range of issues in space, emerging technologies, clean energy, global infrastructure.
और इसे हम देखते हैं बहुत से अन्य मुद्दों पर भी जैसे कि हमारे सहयोग के रूप में अंतरिक्ष से लेकर के उभरती हुई टेक्नोलॉजी प्रौद्योगिकी में साफ ऊर्जा तक और सार्वभौमिक बुनियादी ढांचे में।
I want to thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for your decision and hosting the G20 this year and focusing the world on the challenges that matter not just to you and I and our countries, but to all of us.
और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, मैं आपका बहुत आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं कि आपने G20 में इस वर्ष जो आपने नेतृत्व किया है और विश्व का ध्यान उन चुनौतियों की तरफ केंद्रित किया है जो कि हम सबके लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
I look forward to discussing how we can strengthen our partnership and build a future together worthy of both our peoples, one grounded on democracy, human rights, freedom, and the rule of law.
आज मैं आपके साथ चर्चा करने की राह देख रहा हूँ कि किस तरह से हम आपकी और अपनी सहभागिता को और मजबूत कर सकते हैं और एक साथ मिलकर एक ऐसा भविष्य तैयार करें जो हमारे लोगों के लिए और अधिक बेहतर हो, एक ऐसा भविष्य जो लोकतंत्र, मानव अधिकारों, स्वतंत्रता और नियमों पर आधारित हो।
So welcome again, Mr. Prime Minister. We have a big agenda and to continue to build our progress, again, step by step, but continue to build.
तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, एक बार फिर से आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है और मुझे हमारे सामने बहुत बड़ी कार्यसूची है इस समय पर जिसमें हमें काम करना है, अपनी प्रगति के मार्ग को बढ़ाते जाना है एक एक कदम उठा करके।
Thank you for being here.
धन्यवाद।
राष्ट्रपति जी, मैं आपका हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ और डॉक्टर जी बाइडेन का भी हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ जिस प्रकार से आपने गर्मजोशी से मेरा और हमारे डेलीगेशन का स्वागत किया और विशेष रूप से मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ आज आपने व्हाइट हाउस के द्वार भारतीय समुदाय के लिए खोल दिए और हजारों की तादाद में भारतीय समुदाय अमेरिका भारत की भावी रणनीति के साक्षी बनने के लिए आज हमारे बीच मौजूद थे।
Your Excellency President Biden, I once again express my heartfelt gratitude to you and to Dr. Jill Biden for the hospitality and the respect that you have shown to me and my delegation, and more importantly because you opened the doors of the White House today for the Indian American people, and they were there in thousands to witness the future of our strategic partnership.
एक्सेलेंट, आप हमेशा भारत के एक बहुत अच्छे शुभचिंतक रहे और जब भी आपको जहां भी अवसर मिला है आपने हमेशा भारत और अमेरिका के संबंधों के महात्म्य को बहुत बड़ा बल दिया है, बहुत बड़ी ताकत दी है। और मुझे याद है कि 8 साल पहले यूएस इंडिया बिजनेस काउंसिल को संबोधित करते हुए आपने एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात कही थी और आपने कहा था, आवर गोल इज टू बिकम इंडिया बेस्ट फ्रेंड। ये आपके शब्द आज भी गूंज रहे हैं। भारत के प्रति आपकी यही व्यक्तिगत प्रतिबद्धता हमें अनेक बोल्ड और महत्वाकांक्षी कदम उठाने के लिए प्रेरित कर रही है। आज भारत अमेरिका स्पेस की ऊंचाइयों से समुद्र की गहराइयों तक, एंशियंट कल्चर से लेकर के आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस तक हर क्षेत्र में कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर चल रहे हैं।
Your Excellency, you've always been India's friend and a well-wisher for a very long time. And whenever you have got an opportunity, you've always given force and strength to our bilateral relations. Excellency, 8 years ago, while addressing the US-India Business Council, you had said, our goal is to become India's best friend. And it is this personal commitment of yours towards India that is inspiring us to take many bold and ambitious initiatives. Today, India and the US are walking shoulder to shoulder in every field, from the depths of the oceans to the heights of the skies, from ancient culture to artificial intelligence.
डिप्लोमेटिक दृष्टि से जब किन्हीं दो देशों के बीच संबंधों की बात की जाती है तो अक्सर औपचारिक जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट, वर्किंग ग्रुप्स और एमओयू उसी के दायरे में आमतौर पर बातचीत होती है। इसका अपना महत्व है ही, लेकिन भारत और अमेरिका के रिश्तों का असली इंजन हमारे मजबूत पीपल टू पीपल संबंध है। और इस इंजन की एक जोश भरी दहाड़ हमने अभी बाहर व्हाइट हाउस के लॉन पर भी सुनी है।
Excellency, whenever there is talk of relations between any two countries from a diplomatic point of view, people often talk about some formal joint statements, working groups, MOUs. All these definitely have their own importance, but the real engine of the India-US relationship is our strong people-to-people ties. And we just heard a spirited roar of that engine out on the White House lawns.
Excellency, जैसा आपने कहा, मैं उसे
You are listening to some of the comments from inside the White House as the Indian Prime Minister is meeting there with President Biden. I do want to get to some breaking news right now that we are following. Take a look at your screen as you have seen this quite a bit over the last several days. The U.S. Coast Guard now saying that an underwater vessel has located a debris field near the Titanic during the search for that missing submersible with 5 people on board. That is, of course, a potential breakthrough in that around-the-clock effort here. The search for the missing submersible on an expedition to view the wreckage of the Titanic did pass that critical 96-hour mark this morning when breathable air could have run out, a grim moment there in the intense effort to save the 5 people on board. The Titan submersible was estimated to have about a 4-day supply of breathable air when it launched on Sunday morning in the North Atlantic. Experts have emphasized there was an imprecise approximation to begin with and could be extended if passengers have taken measures to conserve breathable air, and it is not known if they survived since the sub's disappearance. Rescuers have rushed ships, planes, and other equipment to the site of that disappearance, and on Thursday, the U.S. Coast Guard said an undersea robot sent by a Canadian ship had reached the seafloor, while a French research institute said a deep diving robot with cameras, lights, and arms also joined that operation. Authorities hoping underwater sounds might help narrow their search, whose coverage area has been expanded to thousands of miles, twice the size of Connecticut, and in waters that are 2.5 miles deep. Coast Guard officials did say underwater noises were detected in the search area Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, Jamie Pringle, who we spoke with yesterday, an expert in forensic geosciences there, he is over in England and did say that the noises could have come from the submersible. He said, quote, "The lack of oxygen is key now. Even if they find it, they still need to get the surface and unbolt it." The Titan was reported overdue Sunday afternoon about 435 miles south of St. John's in Newfoundland as it was on its way to where the iconic ocean liner sank more than a century ago. Ocean Gate Expeditions, which is leading that trip, has been chronicling the Titanic's decay and the underwater ecosystem around it via yearly voyages since back in 2021. By Thursday morning, hope running out that anyone on board the vessel would still be alive, but family, friends, they are remaining hopeful. Again, we have learned here from the U.S. Coast Guard that an underwater vessel located that debris field near the Titanic. We are going to continue to follow that and bring you the latest right here on Live Now from Fox, but we also know the Coast Guard will provide a briefing at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, if you are joining us here, I do want to stick with this breaking news that we are covering here, as the U.S. Coast Guard is saying that an underwater vessel located a debris field near the Titanic in the search for that missing submersible with 5 people on board. This, of course, a potential breakthrough in the around-the-clock effort. The search for that missing submersible on an expedition to view the wreckage of the Titanic passed that critical 96-hour mark on Thursday when breathable air could have run out. This is, of course, a grim moment in the intense effort to save those 5 people that are on board. The Titan submersible was estimated to have about a 4-day supply of breathable air when it did launch Sunday morning in the North Atlantic, but experts have emphasized there was an imprecise approximation to begin with and could be extended if passengers have taken measures to conserve breathable air, and it's not known if they survived since the sub's disappearance. Rescuers have rushed ships, planes, and other equipment to the site of that disappearance, and on Thursday, the Coast Guard said an undersea robot sent by a Canadian ship had reached the seafloor, while a French research institute said a deep-diving robot with camera lights and arms also joined that operation. Authorities are hoping the underwater sounds might help to narrow down their search, whose coverage area has now been expanded to thousands of miles. We're talking twice the size of Connecticut, and in waters that are 2.5 miles deep. Coast Guard officials said underwater noises were detected in that search area Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, they are hoping that could help them narrow that search area. However, they have already said here that they have found that debris field near the Titanic. I do want to take you out to one of the live images that we do have here on this camera. Let me take a look at this. That is actually a live view from over in Newfoundland as that search is still underway. You have crews from various different agencies that are out there at this point. We don't have a lot of information just yet about exactly what was found. We are just told by the U.S. Coast Guard that it was a debris field. That update again from the Coast Guard expected to happen at about 3 p.m. Eastern time, so you can watch it right here on Live Now from Fox. And we'll leave that shot up here in a box as we do go over to a live event that is now underway right now. This is actually going to be some of the House Republicans, I believe, who are speaking. So let's pop up the audio and listen in.
Brigade in Vietnam. I carried the military equivalent of some of the weapons that we see so often today that turn up in mass shootings and at crime scenes. I'm trained on a number of different weapons. I know what they're capable of doing, and I know why many of these weapons were designed and produced. And I support the Second Amendment. And everyone here supports the Second Amendment and is qualified in the area of firearms. And we also know that people who are a danger to themselves or to others shouldn't be able to get anywhere near a firearm. We're working in our caucus and on the floor and in the Congress to pass legislation that will keep our kids safe, that will make our communities safer. And we are here today to cry out for help.